All right, so we are going to get started today, and we are going to talk all things memberships. Since Greg and Bambi had some great questions for us on Tuesday, we're going to talk through this again. So if you are catching the replay of this, you will see that this is a live call. It's part of what we run twice a year in PBK for our great questions for us on. And so you'll see people on camera, off camera, asking, their questions, doing our stuff. So, I switched pages here. Let's flip back over here. So there we go. And we can pretty much, I've written down what came up on Tuesday, but as we're going through, anything that you want to know, feel free to interrupt me anytime. It's totally good. In the context of membership, the one foundational piece that we've got to make sure we're all on the same page with is, where is your membership fitting in what I call your North Pole to New York City timeline? And believe it or not, you all know exactly what this is, even if you've never heard me say it before. It's our sales process. It's taking someone from the North Pole, which is cold traffic. This would be your blog, your podcast, your YouTube channel, your social media. They're at the North Pole, like picture Santa Claus and igloos and polar bears and lots of snow. Cold, cold traffic. Then they opt in. That's our lead magnet. So wherever they're opting into, doesn't matter. We all have one of those. Then we have the intro product. Some people will call this a tripwire or a mini offer, or I sometimes call it a lily pad offer. All it means is the first time someone is buying from you. So typically it is a lower cost offer, but not always. Some people, their very first thing you can buy is multiple thousands of dollars, and that's okay. But what matters is, what is your flight plan, which is what I call it. And New York City, really, as you're starting, is ultimately what you want them to buy, or the second thing that they are buying from you. So for example, because what matters when we're talking memberships, it matters if the membership is going to land at our intro thing, which is the first thing they can buy, or if it comes as the second or third option that people buy. So here, if we take a blog, for example, and then someone can opt in, and the very first thing they can buy is the membership, then what is number two? Number two, and it doesn't have to always exist out of the starting gate at all. It can totally evolve, but it can be a course. It could be a mastermind. It could be one-on-one coaching. Any of those things would obviously, a book, like anything would fit into the second time. That is a different setup. Then we'll keep this part the same, blog, opt-in, and then we'll just keep, for simplicity's sake, we'll put the course as the first thing they buy and the membership as the second thing. The reason this is so incredibly important is you have to know where they fit, because it's impossible to craft solid funnels, in the, passive income that is really not all that passive. Crafting your message, know exactly where they are going, because your goal is to get them from the North Pole, cold traffic, to spending money in New York City as fast as humanly possible. If you keep changing your mind and you're wandering all over and doing this, does not make for a good business model in any sense of the word. What you want to know and be able to tell other people, not to mention yourself, this is the path that we're going on. Here's this, here's this, here's this. You'll obviously change as it goes along, or you'll evolve or tweak it. But this is what's really important. So for you guys that are on the call, how many of you is the membership the very first thing that they can buy from you? Okay, Greg?
It is for us as well.
Okay, perfect. Elise, it's your second thing, isn't it? Elise is over here. Bambi, is yours going to be the second thing?
Yeah. Well, yes. I'm doing the course right now. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yes, we are. That's my husband. So that gives me an idea too, as I'm talking, to make sure that, as you know, different things that matter in the intro spot are different than, they're not always different, but sometimes between New York City. So I thought we would start, or first of all, anybody have any questions on this part, like North Pole? What is North Pole to New York City? Like how that framework is set up or works, or anything like that you might have a question on.
I'm curious how many people here use the blog as their primary way that they're capturing people.
Anybody use blog?
We have a blog, and I mean, we're just starting out, but we have about 8 blog posts to bring people in to start reading at our site, and it's on Kajabi.
So do you just cycle those blogs? You say we have 8 blog posts, so you're not putting them out like monthly or whatever?
Well, we just started, so I try and put one blog every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Really, it's the first and third Monday, and sometimes that ends up. I just do 2 times a month.
Okay. Great.
And then I post those on Pinterest, and that's my main. Right now, it's my main way to just start setting up traffic.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
I can't tell you if it's successful because I'm just starting out.
Well, I used to do a blog and I got burnt out. So because Tamsin, you wrote blog in the front of both, I thought, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Anything that's a read magnet. So that's why I was adding in other ones. So anything that is your read magnet. Mine is YouTube. That is the easiest one. It's where my people find me. You can be on, all different places. The most important thing for your North Pole, your read magnets, where are your people going to find you? Right. Wedding photographers, probably much better on Instagram and Pinterest. Mm-hmm. People that are, I don't know, really podcasts is just about everything, because every niche is on a podcast and you search for those niches. I do take my YouTube videos and then I schedule them out as blog posts, but really it just gets stored there. I mean, people on my list will read it, and I keep track of that based on automations, like who clicks over to the blog post from like the weekly newsletter, but I'm not using my blog as my easy way for people to find me.
Right. Yeah.
Not at all.
The YouTube thing too. Okay.
Yeah. YouTube is definitely what I.
And then for us, we have also concluded that the blog could get just a lot of work, so we're going to do a podcast as well. So.
Nice. Yeah, Denise, it's my name. It is totally my name. Yeah, the podcast is definitely gets more traffic for, I think, every single person and every single business I've ever encountered. Definitely, you can take the podcast and put it on the blog for sure. But where is the audience these days? And again, there are some niches out there where the blog is still reigning king, because the people that the blog is converting, that's their chosen way. They want to read. They want to click on links. The problem for me, I got burned out on blogs. I can't stand it with all the pop-up ads. So like bloggers, like the people that actually like want to blog and do have really great blogs, they're all going after like the pennies on the dollar. And so there's all these things. I'm like, I'm just trying to read your article. That's all. Just leave me alone in peace. Like,
yes, totally agree.
I'm like, how about we learn some other business models? Like you could sell ad space in like a static sidebar and charge triple whatever you're currently making, outside of the people that make millions on their blogs. Not that group, but like the vast majority. I think blogs are a much better storage piece. Like they're good when you can take your podcast episode, put it on the blog, then link to it in your newsletter. Oh, here, I've put a few things together so that you're really, as much as you can, crafting great experiences for people. But no, blog is not my main. I'm a horrible blogger. Horrible. Can't stand the darn thing. Despite my inconsistencies, it still has managed to work, but YouTube is much better for me to do because I can do video all day long.
Do you feel that podcasts are easier than blogging?
It depends on the person. I think anything is easier than blogging. I hate blogging. I'm like, here's 4 bullet points. Like I couldn't take a blog post that I would be like, hey, here's the 3 things you need to do, 1, 2, and 3, and drag that out into a blog. I could easily get on a video, get on a podcast, talk out the whole thing, get it transcribed, and dump it onto a blog in Word form, no problem.
Yeah.
But I am not a natural.
That's what we're thinking.
Writer.
We're thinking we like conversations. And when I was writing the blog, some of our issues are so nuanced. I'm like, this is really getting difficult. So we're gonna do both but we did add the podcast piece just to ease up on the burden of doing like really substantive blogs.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I use, I forget the Anchor. Yeah. So underneath, like it has an app, because Nancy's right. Podcasts can be a lot of work. The way that I podcast is not a lot of work, but I do not edit my podcasts. I am not known for my podcasts. I do not mind if people say or in terms of editing that out. That is me, like as a consumer. Now I do love like the NPR highly produced, crazy, amazingly fantastic podcasts, but you can, something as simple as Anchor, which publishes to all your platforms. You can just get on there, record what you want to say, and call it good. That is the now recovered valedictorian in me. I am a perfectionist to the nth degree. I grew up, you never got anything less than an A. You were never less than number 1 in your class. However, you will never ship or sell anything as a business owner if you don't somehow get over that piece. So as I was recovering valedictorian for a very long time. Now I can say, totally good, recovered valedictorian. Can I click a button and do this live, and it doesn't matter to me if it's not perfectly choreographed and produced and all that? I can, but that's not the right decision for everyone. And it doesn't mean that your quality is less or that your intention is less. It just says, you know what? The practical reality is if I don't embrace what I'm capable of doing consistently, none of it will ever get done. So it can be beautiful, but sitting on a shelf in my home, the only person that sees it is me. So, but that's definitely a work in progress. Like it has been a work in progress.
And I think a lot has to do with like your brand. If you started your brand right out of the gate of, I'm going to show up how I show up. Sometimes I show up right out of the shower with a towel on my head and a towel around my chest because it's like, I just had a freaking amazing experience in the shower. I need to rock your world with this. And people love it because I'm not going to put lights on and makeup and all of that.
Nope.
So they appreciate that.
Hey,
True.
This was the topic of my last podcast. I'll send it to you.
Perfect. You can post it in Mighty Networks. We'd love to listen to it.
Okay, so it's totally not professional. It's very laid back.
Hey, we like that.
That's good.
Totally like that. 1 second. Yes. Remind me, I just coordinate everyone's lives. I'm running Facebook Marketplace for my husband on Porch Pickup. We got the boys doing Netflix, and then let's call this mission control over here for sure. So
Well, all right.
let's get back to this one because I want to make sure we get to the questions you guys had. So yes, your North Pole, and your North Pole becomes, I mean, it's always important, but especially as you look at your flight plan, we're like, okay, they're coming from whatever they're seeing to an opt-in, and the very first thing that they can get to is a membership. So as you're, coming up with what are you going to talk about on your read magnet, well, really, you serve yourself very well to simply keep cycling through the stuff that's in whatever the first thing is that people can purchase here. That really alleviates the, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to market this membership? How am I going to let people know? Well, if you know, hey, it's the first thing they can buy, and you're crafting what you're talking about out here based on what is the first thing they can purchase, then as people have questions, you can point them to a YouTube episode. You can point them to a podcast. So you're really saving yourself a lot of work and avoiding the, oh my gosh, what am I going to talk about this week? Okay, well, what do you do in your membership? Do you have, questions or that kind of thing? So that one is for sure an easy way to do it. And Colleen had asked on Tuesday, how do you go about taking a course and moving it into a membership? And I find that the easiest way to think about this is in terms of payment. So a course is typically one time or payment plans, and membership is simply recurring. So, oh, nope. Hold on. There we go. Would help to not put my finger on the power button. Membership is just the recurring payment. So if I have a course here and it is a natural extension, my membership comes out of the course. This is why we draw things on runways and flight plans, because if the membership instead is the second thing that they can buy, but it isn't a natural extension of the course, then it's going to be talked about differently. You're going to market it differently. So whenever you are working on your businesses, it is so helpful to think of it in terms of a flight plan. The plane comes out of the sky and it's going to land on the runway. Anytime, if I'm coming down, here's my flight. I need to get from the North Pole to New York City as fast as possible. Planes can go at incredibly high speeds on like straight runways. This, that's going to cause a plane crash. Planes cannot pivot on a dime. Same thing with people that are experiencing you. If all of a sudden they're sailing right through and your course, you're like, totally different topic, it's likely going to crash and burn. Versus, okay, here was the course, that came to an end. Now we'd like to change. The topic is over here, but it's very clear to them that it's a different experience or a different topic, other than when it's a natural extension of the membership, of the course into the membership. Does that answer your question, Bambi? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Other questions on this? Then we'll jump into Kajabi because Greg wants to know the best way to set some stuff up.
I think that, and I want you to address Greg's question first, but one of the things is I like to coach and interface with my people. Mm-hmm. And I also don't want to be chained to my business. Mm-hmm. I'm all about streamline and simplicity. So not sure how to make that feel like a good balance. Like they feel like, oh, I want to stay in this membership. Because that's the other thing. It's like, how much money do you charge? And how long do people actually stay in a membership? And that's going to be based on, I feel like, how much contact they have with me, available to answer their specific questions. But anyway, so that's just something that I'm mulling over. So
Okay.
if you come up with ideas, just throw that out there.
There's no shortage of ideas when
I
it
know.
comes to
As I
these topics, and my brain, we have yet to run out.
Yes.
We have yet. Okay, so we're gonna flip over to Kajabi. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Pam.
Hello.
You guys snuck in. Okay. Greg, did you have anything specific in Kajabi that you wanted to know?
Well, I'm going to go from a membership to courses. So
Yep.
I just want to know how to set it up a membership correctly.
Okay.
So I don't look up a year from now and go, oh man, I made a mistake and I'm gonna have to undo a bunch of stuff. That's my main concern is,
Gotcha.
and the membership will sell on a normal basis for $97 a month. It's for corporations and businesses, small businesses.
Okay.
And I'm actually starting tonight, I'm launching over the next 7 days, the founders level. So $37 a month. And I have some particular clients I'm doing that with. So I'm starting small. So I'm
Yep.
setting it up as we speak. So I'm like, really need to know now. But
right time, right place. That is
yeah. So the picture will be at the end of the day, I'll have a membership. That's the entry, because that's the lower, and they can get a lot of live things from me. But then there'll be bigger courses they can purchase to go, and coaching and so forth out of that later on. So
there's your membership. Your New York City is going to be courses. Okay, so and we'll go into Kajabi, but let me make sure I've got it correct before we jump in. And your content, you had mentioned on Tuesday, you're going to put that in multiple different products?
Yeah, so when they sign up for the membership, but this is all based upon what I've seen I've been consulting and coaching for 10 years now. And so
okay,
it's basically taking all that stuff I've experienced and putting it into a package. So what I typically coach on is helping them get their people and processes in order so they can free up their business, because most business owners are working 60, 70 hours a week and they want to work 30 and make twice as much money. And so that's what we lead with. But as I've gone into it, I find out that what their problem is teams and leadership. And so what they're getting when they sign up for the membership, they're getting what's called the Leader Fluent certification. It's a 12-month program that they go through, and they can be certified in, and I coined the word leader fluence, leadership and influence. Or their teams can't, because a lot of times they say, well, what do you have for my teams? I have a VP, or I have somebody I need to put in here. So for $97 a month, they can sign up and they get the course material, and then they also get live Q&As every month for 12 months. And so then from there, I want them to sell up to deeper courses, bigger things, coaching packages. I do executive coaching, that sort of thing. So when they sign up for the membership, it's very specific. They really need to hone their leadership skills. Somebody on that team needs to hone their leadership skills. And so they're getting probably about several $1,000s worth of material for $97 a month, basically.
Nice.
So it's a no-brainer to get in, but then once they get in, I want to continue after they go through that program. I want to continue. They say, man, I really don't want to leave, because it really helps me stay abreast of best situations. And then there'll be other things that we train them on, courses like finance or HR or whatever it might be. So that's the premise of it all.
That makes total sense. So in the course materials, would it all be in one product, or might it be, I don't know, teams?
It would be multiple products for sure.
Multiple products.
It's too much to be one. Yeah, it's way too much.
Got it. Okay, so this is what I call product-based. And this is what PVK is. So I have multiple products, but a single offer. And when someone gets the offer, it allows them to have access to everything. Different than what I call offer-based right here, which is all the content is in one product. So they're not getting access to multiple products. It's just one spot. and however you decide to orchestrate it, it goes in there. So for product-based, we need to have, I always like to think of it in the reverse order that someone would be experiencing the purchase of your membership. So in terms of bare bones, what you need, you're going to want a thank you page, which is the last thing they see, but it's the first thing we build. So the thank you page that basically says, you know, what's their next step? What do you want them to do next? Then you're going to have your offer checkout, which for you, you'll have your founders at 37. And while you can simply overwrite an offer, I will tell you from 5 years of doing this, just make a new offer, guys. Like, trying to remember, it locks them into place so that if someone buys on the 37 and I overwrite it, which I'll go into Kajabi in a second, you have to keep track because it's now invisible. Like one page, it's like you took a dry erase marker and you keep erasing it. We have unlimited offers. Just make a new offer. It's really easy to know, oh, you're on the founders rate and yours is 37. You're on this one. So I'm not a big fan of—
Last portion of the design tab we'll focus on is navigation.
Vicki, I'm muting you. and then you have your 97, we'll just call those guys the regulars.
Okay.
Right there. And before you get to offer checkout, you usually have a sales page of some sort. Right there. Now the offer checkout page is going to trigger, I use ES for email sequence, and I call it buyer intro, because for you, it's the first thing that they can buy here. So this doesn't have to be a crazy long email sequence. It can be the first phase of your onboarding. But what it allows you to do is you can turn off like the Kajabi default email and instead send something that is on brand, is really specific to what you want to tell them. So I just find it's a better customer experience. And we'll get to all this on the checkout page. So it's the offer checkout triggers this sequence, and this is where we include the products. So in a product-based membership where you're going to have lots of different products, you might have one that's ready now, but then we'll just put dates on these. There might be one that's ready in 2021. But you might have another one that's ready in 2022. You can always add those products to those offers. So that makes it really easy. So from the customer experience, we'll make them green. They see the sales page, go to the offer checkout, see the thank you page, and then they're going to receive this in their email. And this thank you page, I like to tell them to go to their library, like the library login page. And this will total segue to tomorrow's topic, which is gamification. There's really fun and easy ways to turn your onboarding kind of into a gamified scavenger hunt so that your members go and check their email, go and log in and leave you a comment. Go to, if you're using something like Slack or Facebook or Mighty Networks or the Kajabi community, making sure they're getting all those steps in, because we know if they don't get all those steps in, they're likely not going to stay because they're going to end up missing a big portion. So the library login, which is where they could obviously, see the products. Okay. Questions on that? We're going to go into Kajabi and I'll show you what each of those pages looks like.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've done this a few times.
Yeah, I would think so.
And I love it. So, I mean, there's, my idea of a really fun Friday night is, oh, what can we look at? What can we do in Kajabi? How can I streamline and make this better?
So we'll probably add a product a quarter. That's the goal. That way they keeps building, that way they keep getting new stuff. But then we may actually have, that's the only question I would have is we may actually have a few things that we add in that would actually be something they could purchase at a discount because they're in a membership. So in other words, it might be big enough that it wouldn't be given to them, but it'd be something they could purchase at a discount.
Perfect.
Where would we would just, how would we handle that?
So I'm gonna go back here.
I mean, obviously it would be its own product, but then how do we?
Yep. So the most beautiful thing about your products is that you have all kinds of really great real estate. And I've used this for years in my own free product because you can put stuff in sidebars, you can put stuff in headers that is, hey, here's how you can buy. Like I haven't used a normal funnel since 2016, but I could use a free product and I rotate my billboards all the time. In fact, I think it was last week or the week before, somebody in the official group was like, guys, there's the coolest thing. You can use a product for free and then put all your stuff in the sidebar. we were, and everyone in PBK was like, yeah, like, isn't it great? It's the best thing, but you can do the same thing in your membership because here's your product. And if you're going to have multiple ones, you'll likely have one that's like your member lounge or your members hub where you're going to keep replays of calls or stuff that isn't necessarily its own product, but is kind of like the member space. I call mine members lounge. But in the sidebar, this is where you link to whatever they can purchase. And depending on, whatever it is, you link it straight to the offer checkout page. Because they're a member, you can use a coupon. So what you end up sharing is the discount link straight from the coupon code that you create so that when the members are in their product, they can always see it. If it's available for purchase all the time, then you just let it sit in the sidebars, or in posts or in headers, whatever location creates a good experience for your people is where you put it. And if it's like, you know what, this is only available for the next 60 days, then you put it in the sidebar for 60 days and you take it away. So it really is your way to do it. And they don't have to enter a coupon code, but they definitely see here's your members discount is getting applied for sure.
I think that's how you got me for Bizzlebox.
I'm sure it was.
Bizzlebox on a sidebar?
Bizzlebox is on the sidebar.
Yeah, you snagged me that way.
Yeah, I did.
Nice work, girl.
Thank you.
Didn't even know.
And since it's behind the paywall, technically the discount, you don't have to worry about having a coupon code because it's just to the offer to that lower level because it's behind the paywall. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. So it just
starting to make sense now.
It makes for a really good experience for your members, which that's the entire thing is how do we take these digital tools, these digital Legos and bend them to create what feels like, I hate to use the word real world because this is my real world, even though it's been, it's digital, but the oxygen stuff that we're used to, it's really just bending our digital tools around. So in Kajabi.
On your question list, the whole member lounge thing and that sidebar, can you do a day on that?
I sure can.
I'd like to know about that.
I can.
So question, go ahead, finish.
Sorry. And I'd also like to know about, I want to divorce Facebook, but I'm not sure where to go. So if that using your words, divorcing Facebook. I'm really done with Facebook.
I am so happily divorced from Facebook. Life is beautiful, divorced from Facebook. Got it. Elisha, did you have a question?
So from the conversation yesterday, if I was doing the membership, like you just had all the discounts and coupons on the side, if the courses are created for the membership, what are you discounting? exactly if they're getting the course.
I'll show you. Let me draw it out on paper because it's two totally different concepts. Let's get a new clean sheet of whiteboard.
Well, Alicia, in my case, while she's looking that up, so I'm doing the leadership program for 12 months. And one of the lessons I do is, a couple hours on communication. Well, I'm going to create a communication course. It may be 16 or 20 hours, so they can go real deep. I would sell that as a course outside of this program if somebody wanted to go really deep on communication. And so what Tamsin just taught me was I can put that in with a coupon code on the sidebar. And so if they go, man, I'd really like to go deeper with communication, boy, they can go buy that course and go deeper.
Okay.
So you can have, okay, second.
That's genius. It really is.
So then I'm going to draw, because mine is products. Sorry, these are adding products here. So in what we were talking about with Greg, so here's his membership that is product based. So the content is available in different products via a single offer. So this offer has multiple products. That's how it gets into their library. Now, he has products that are part of the membership, but he also has stuff that he's going to develop that isn't necessarily an immediate, yes, it's included. So you can create, okay, I'm creating this other course, and for, I like to call it the Costco pricing, anywhere that you're like, you have member pricing. So, or where was I recently? I wasn't anywhere recently. Hold on, okay, it'll come to me in a minute. But let's say that the members paid 20% off. Oh, Barnes & Noble, that's what I was thinking about. So the Barnes & Noble members price versus the whatever the other prices that people pay. So the members save 20% off these courses that are not part of the membership. And you can absolutely do that. Does that make sense so far, Alicia?
Yeah, it does. I'm just thinking about a conversation from yesterday. I'm trying to connect the two, but
I'll give you the PBK. I'll give you my example. So when I make a product, it automatically goes into PBK because
that's offer based.
What?
That's offer based. What you call offer based versus product?
Oh, sorry. Yes, offer based. Sorry. I thank you. Yes.
And Greg's is products based.
No, sorry. I totally, my children have fried my brain by 12 noon today. So Greg's is offer based. For anyone watching the replay, I totally called my own stuff the wrong thing, just like I've called my children the wrong names all morning. And that was with taking them to a playground for 2 hours to run off all the energy that they've thrown my direction. Sorry, offer based because one offer has multiple products. Okay. Product based, it's a single product. Thank you, Alicia. I totally said it wrong. Offer based, in Greg's case, he has some products that you want to create. You can sell them to non-members. You can sell them to your members because they get member pricing. Here's what your membership includes. Here's other stuff that we offer. Because of your membership, you get member-based pricing. So that you can absolutely do. To contrast, PBK, if I make a new product, it goes into PBK because I don't want to sell and or market anything separately right now. I did that before. I didn't enjoy it. And it was just, for me, it was a nightmare to run the darn thing. So if I make a product, it comes into PBK, and currently the only way you can buy anything from me is to join PBK. I won't even, and people are like, well, I just want this one thing. I'm like, fine, join for 1 month, use the one thing and cancel it. They're like, but don't you lose money? I'm like, it's not worth me rebuilding a funnel to sell that thing separately. But that's for me and for what I have figured out I enjoy running. Now, lashes, like lashing legally, which is a whole other side, which you guys probably don't even know that I have, because I do legal for strictly eyelash artists and people that are in the lash industry. That is just buy a product, like just buy a product, and there's no membership piece. So that if I make a new product, they don't have a membership offering because I'm already over here running a membership in a totally different spot. But you can do whatever is going to work for your business model. So for you, as you're starting with your founders, you can have them get everything that you make, they get on their offer. But let's say you create a special webinar or a special workshop or something that is outside of what you would normally offer. Let me draw a little line right here. You can have, so I'll show mine. You can create different things. So I have two. One is like a small group focused training. One is one-on-one. These aren't included in here at all. If you want to buy them, you can. It's something extra. And
Like,
there's definitely
like your London, I think.
right. Exactly. So if you want to have, hey, here's my membership, and I'm going to have Costco pricing for, maybe it's not even a course. Maybe it is one-on-ones. Okay. So you have one-on-one appointments, and let's say they're $400 for non-member and they're $200 for members. So you can offer as a perk, and it's a very powerful way to layer in not just upsells, but also making the loyalty to the membership another layer blended in, like adding another layer of rope, that makes it the ties, all those ties that you have with that person stronger. Because yes, they have their ridiculously great buy in the membership offer, but if they cancel that and they want some one-on-ones, really a couple one-on-ones, and they've just like lost their whole, the membership can give them added perks.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, you can layer any of those pieces in. Because yeah, when we were talking, and we'll get yours on here. Draw you over here. So you have, yours is gonna be 97 also a month, right? Or 99?
97.
97. Okay, cool. So you have your product, which is your content. We're not doing discounts. We're not doing coupons, which makes me oh so happy.
No.
So here, let's see, in 2025, you make something crazy new. And you're like, okay, I'm going to sell it for $2,000. Well, in this situation, you could, in option A, you could include it. Huge perk for members. You could do Costco pricing. So let's say we give it to our members, because we're just going to use nice big numbers that I can do on camera. For $1,000, they get 50% off of it, which when I'm doing this, the member cost is the real cost. It comes across as a discount. It's not a discount. I don't discount it. I say, here's the cost of the product. Now I'm going to increase it for non-members. I'm not going to decrease it for members. Again, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's all in how you position it. What's the cost of the product? $1,000. Great. Non-members, $1,300. not $1,000 to $700. Because I just eaten away at my bottom line. If I do that enough, it is way, I'm just not, I don't like eroding things. So I will always say, what's the value of the number?
Mhm.
Now I would increase it for non-members.
Gotcha.
Typically, most people are undercharging and undervaluing things as it is.
Gotcha.
Does that kind of bring the two discussions together for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Greg, for your example. I'm learning.
Me too.
Other questions on this, or we'll go into Kajabi, but I don't want to leave anybody hanging.
Okay, go ahead.
So when you're doing the pricing on the offer checkout with
Mhm.
the member, non-member thing, is it just members are alerted to a coupon code?
Mm-mm. Well, you can do it in a couple of different ways. So let's go into stop share so I can get into Kajabi. It depends on how you want to set it up. So in Kajabi, if we go into products and we go into our offers, you can make coupon codes, but you can make, there's a way to, when you add the offer to the coupon code, which you have to do, that it will give you a discount link, which means that it applies the coupon for them simply by, let's make this $1,000. Okay, so here we made it a course. We're going to sell it to our members. We want them to get a discount. So this price that I put in here, that would be my non-member price. Okay, which let's do this. Hold on, let's use bigger numbers. Let's do 1,500. I wouldn't normally write that in there. I'm writing that in so that I don't forget when we start clicking around on the screens. So here, if I click save, what I would do for my members, if I wanted to sell this program to them, you can go right up here into Kajabi Assistant and you can just type coupon. So then you'll, right here, so this is create coupon. Create this. And let's say they save 30%, 30 member off. So it's going to give them 30% off. You can also be a fixed dollar amount. You can have it be valid through a certain amount of time. Like if you say, hey, members, I'm giving you half off for the next 30 days. It encourages them to take action. After that point, you wouldn't have to, like, you could build it in so that it was a discount that went away and wasn't there all the time. Which is why I'm a huge fan of anytime you're trying to figure out what it is you want to do, map it out on paper. Like think through what's the best case scenario, what's the worst case scenario. When you're doing it on paper, then it makes it easy to catch the, ooh, yeah, I didn't think about that. Or, do I really want, ooh, I like that. Because once you go into Kajabi, you can do anything you want in here. I mean, there are so few things that you could never do that you start going, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then it gets, what do we just call this thing? Testing. There we go. So here, see how it has a discount link right here? I can, and there's lots of psychology behind this, if my members are going to feel like they're getting a better deal by typing in a coupon code, then I will send them the link to the offer and the coupon code so that they can type it in, click apply, and then see the discount happen. Okay, that's one psychological process. The other psychological process is you copy the discount link right from here. If you just click on it, it will copy it for you. And then you go into your, what you send them in their email or in the sidebar on the product is you put the link straight to the offer. Kajabi, because you give them that link, Kajabi does the applying. See, it's scratching things out. Oh, I wrote in the wrong spot. Hold on. That should say, where it says non-member price, that should say 1,500. I thought I was writing in a different area. My mistake. So here, see how it just applied it for me?
Mm-hmm.
In the other situation, they apply the coupon code. The result is exactly the same. It's just which one creates the experience in the best way for your members. Do they need to click to apply their code or not? I will say, hold on one second. I just need to pull something out of the oven. 1 second. Okay. With your members, the easiest thing is send the discount link, because somebody is going to forget to enter the darn code, and then they're going to want a refund, and then you're going to have, like, you create the potential for, what was the code again? I don't know what the code is. Can you send me the code? So you have that email back and forth between whoever handles your customer service, or they entered it and then they realize, oh, I forgot to use the code. I need a refund. So you've created, in my opinion, unnecessary customer service dialogue. Just send them the link for the discount link.
I like that it's crossed out.
Yeah, it totally gets crossed out. And if we go back over here and can you guys see Kajabi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like the new offer, the way it presents, because it's really confusing. It's like, it doesn't cross it out. So they click on it and they see the full price point, and then in tiny little letters, it says discount and what's due. And so my VA took it back to the old checkout version.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, they updated the checkout version. I don't know. Anyway.
There. So that's what it would look like.
Yeah.
When you just send them the link, just like that.
Yeah, that's easier.
Definitely. Yeah, it's much easier. Like I said, it is anytime that I can avoid creating unnecessary emails that people need to send, that just makes their experience much better. So on this side, especially when they're on your membership side of the paywall, anything you can do to make it easy and make it so that they can just engage and interact without needing to send things to you, they're going to have a better experience. Better experience means you are going to be take preventative action against having to really be consumed with retention issues. Okay. So let me just hop back, since we've kind of wandered all over the place. Let me just get us anchored back in. Greg, are you good, or do you need to go right at 1 o'clock?
I'm going to have to go here.
Okay. We might have to.
I'll watch it later.
Okay. So I'll continue it on for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So here, we talked about the discount links, which again, we can insert those into the product for our members. But now in Kajabi, what we need is our sales page, the offer checkout page, and a thank you page. So sales page, I think you guys are probably all good on. Does anybody have any kind of an issue with their sales page for their membership? Cool. Okay, so on the offer checkout page, as you are setting this up, and this is why I like to keep the offers separate. So like founder's offer, my first price increase, like anytime you're making a significant change, just keep new offers. It makes it much easier. Here, now we can add the product. So in an offer-based membership, you can add in all of your different products. When the offer exists, it will always give you this pop-up that says, don't give it to them or give it to them. 99.9% of the time, that will be the choice that you're going to make for sure. You just add the product, we come in, we pick another one, add it in, so that we just stack those up, no problem whatsoever. Here is where you're gonna add your automation. So the email sequence that you get that is triggered when it's purchased is that I call it, so you do when the offer is purchased, then subscribe to an email sequence, which is email sequence buyer intro.
I thought that when you click that automation button down there, that specifically goes to one person. Now hear you say that in a bit.
No, when it's tied to the offer, it goes to everybody. If I change it and I say send an email, that will go to a specific person. So that will go to the person that purchased this offer.
Oh, okay.
But on the offer is purchased, and then I want to subscribe them to my onboarding set of communications, I would choose the email sequence buyer intro.
And that has to be set up ahead of time, at least the first one, correct?
At least the first one, yes.
Kind of like the order of sequence. Is that in your PBK Trello thing, the order of sequence? Because that's always, I end up going, oh shit, I don't even have that thing set up yet to be able to find the button there. Okay.
Yep, it's all, it's on there, and it is, let me show you. It's also on the, let me get back. An easier way to see it is from, do I have it open? No, open it up. And I can post this in the pop-up group, but I use inside PBK, like when I'm teaching and when I'm laying stuff out, I use what's called Funnelytics, which is this diagram, but I'll pull it up because it lets you see exactly where all the sequences fall. And you don't have to have everything in there at the beginning, but when you know this is my North Pole to my New York City, when you want to give it the infrastructure so that it, you can have it fly and make money while you are sleeping. There we go. Sorry, I just had to get that pulled up. So here, can you guys see Funnelytics?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so let's make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So here, just to give it some context, out here is our read magnet. Then they opt in here. Now, once they've opted in, I trigger what's called the welcome lead magnet sequence. The entire purpose of this sequence is to get people to just click and see the sales page. So using Kajabi automations, you can completely automate this. What you can't do is keep changing your mind, because if you change your mind, you got to unhook your system and rebuild your railroad. It gets very time consuming. But once they've clicked and they've just seen it, they haven't purchased, but they've seen this page, now I can trigger sequences that specifically talk to getting them to buy it. So the sales sequences are to basically say, hey, you saw this cool thing on this sales page, here's how you can purchase. And you're building that entire set of communications up. When once they've purchased, so right here, that email sequence buyer intro, make it a little bit bigger. Here, this you can unhook. So depending on what New York City is, what's the next thing that they can buy, this may be hooked up or it might not be. For me, it's not hooked up. Once you purchase PBK, there's onboarding, but this stuff, everything you can buy after that doesn't have sequences tied to it. So for my own, these are not connected. For other people, they have a very set way that people can, that they can purchase. So this sequence buyer intro, when you're looking on the Trello boards, everything on the Trello board, everything in the glossary, everything on Funnelytics, I use the same terminology in all places. So if you like visuals, you can just stick with, my analogy has always been, it's the same chocolate cake mixture. Some people like a sheet cake, some people like cupcakes, some people like cake pops. So Trello or glossary or Funnelytics, it's all the exact same information. Does that answer your question? Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this onboarding, guys.
I've been thinking so I only have a cookie.
You may have one cookie. Okay.
Dad already gave me one.
That's it for right now. But that's what gets hooked up on, go back into Kajabi, gets, come on, Zoom, turned on at the automations level is when they purchase the offer, now subscribe them to the sequence. At the same time, depending on how much you have hooked up, you unsubscribe them from everything that came before that. So once someone purchases, if you do have multiple sequences turned on that are bringing people through your North Pole to New York City, you obviously, as soon as they buy, you got to make sure you turn off, unsubscribe them from everything that comes in front of it. So that's the part, Bambi, when I was saying don't turn on so many automations at once. When people are launching a program for the first time or their membership, they want to put everything in there, but likely they're still trying to figure out Kajabi. They're still trying to figure out what they're running. They haven't really pushed enough people through their process to know what it is. And so they spend a heck of a lot of time trying to hook it all up. And unbeknownst to them, they have one or two automations hooked up wrong. And it basically stalls out the whole engine. So it works really well. I'm a huge fan of it. But if it's not hooked up well, it's a disaster.
Yeah, I'm kind of running into the dilemma of, okay, I have my email list. Pulled out of that list are people that went on my wait list.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, segmenting them and pulling them out of now my emails, my newsletter. Yep. They signed on for that. But now it's like moving forward, I have to be thinking, do I include the Slay Your Days people in this email content or not? So it gets, all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, now I have all these people in this program. Now what do I do? Because I still want to nurture them with my thing, but it's a different kind of nurture. So do I then pull those people off of my email list?
In Kajabi, you don't have to pull anybody off. You just use the people tab to create separate audiences. So let me open this up.
Oh, and then I can just click the audience because I'm going to through and setting up every time. Okay.
Yes. So in your people tab, you can create the small neighborhoods of people. Like, okay, here's all the people that share this in common, and here's the people I want to have share this in common. And
Right.
so you do that using your filters. So you can choose, and these definitely do this on paper before you come into Kajabi.
Okay.
Say, okay, what is it that I want these people to have? What is the quality? Okay, let's do offers. That one's easy enough. So we'll say offers, and we'll say owns, and then we'll pick our product. Okay, so that one's easy. If it's like, hey, I want all my members that own this product, or sorry, that own that offer. Yes, sweetheart. I will when I'm done with my call. Okay, or Kip can help you. Okay. As you have different offers, like PBK, I think has 6 or 7 at this point. We've been going for 5 years. The price has changed. So I have multiple offers for PBK. So what I would need to do, this would only be, so like Alicia and Greg, if they're going to do a founder's offer and then the regular offer, if they wanted to send an email to all of their members, they would need to include all the different offers if they were using offers as their filter. If you said, hey, I want to talk to the people who don't own my membership, and this is going to give us 0 because it's the test site. Oh no, I said does not own. So everyone that doesn't own 8 is annual. Now I can see this. Now I can click save as a segment. So after you've filtered, then you just name this right there. You click save. Now, when you click on segments, and these segments show up in email marketing, like underneath the email tab, so you can just search right here. I can go, what do we call it? Name it what you need right here.
Okay.
So now I can just click on that group, and in Kajabi, it's a dynamic list. So as people opt in, or as they subscribe or unsubscribe or open an email or don't open an email, once you've set the parameters for the group, they will move themselves in and out of that group without you needing to do maintenance work on it. So you get it set up correctly, that audience will stay exactly the way that you set it up. So it's really easy to say, I'm talking to these people about this thing at this time without needing to go, oh, what was it? What were those 5 filters I put together? Like, when you know, I want to send it to, which in fact for me, everyone that's in PBK, everyone owns training wheels. So instead of filtering by offers, because I have many, I just filter based on who owns my hub product. Because if you own that product, you have to be a PBK member. So if I forgot to include, like there's a couple, random offers that I think now at this point only have 1 or 2 people on them because I did them for like a special Kajabi promotion at some point in the last 5 years. I've left them off of things before, not on purpose, but just because I forgot, oh, that's right, I have that random 1.29 offer. Duh. So you can filter on whatever makes it easiest for you.
Got it. And you don't do a newsletter, right? You do a blog thing. You're not a newsletter person.
I'm not. I send an email broadcast, but it pretty much says, hey, here's the latest YouTube video, or hey, I was on this podcast. That's about it. I don't put for people that write actual newsletters. No, I'm not a newsletter writer. Let me tell you, here's some really helpful information. If you haven't seen this YouTube video, it's over here. That's what I do. But because I'm horrible at I don't read newsletters, and I'm really bad at writing them.
Yeah, so your way of getting people into PBK is through your YouTube. You've got a link down there.
Yep.
Got it.
YouTube to free product. My free product is always open, has been since 2016.
Yeah.
The free product, if I'm going to do anything, it is announced in there. It is linked in there. It goes in the sidebar in there. So it's given me the ability to leverage that single lead magnet for a solid 4 years. So whenever I have, like before COVID, excuse me, we did a monthly virtual meetup. Well, then COVID hit and suddenly everyone was doing virtual meetups. I'm like, okay, I'm getting lost in the noise at this point. So I just took it off my sidebar. I'm like, I'm not going to try to be more noisy. So I'm just taking it off the sidebar, and we were getting ready to run, you know, the pop-up group. But that's how I've structured it, just because it's what works really well in my lifestyle at the moment. Yes, sweetheart. You put a, no, not on the new carpet.
No, on the blankie.
Okay, if you put the blanket down, then that's okay. You can have a picnic. Okay, Kip has to help you. Thank you. It's practicing, it's practice for becoming a parent. We just said, when did I become a servant? We're teaching all kinds of good lifelong traits here at Horton Homeschool.
I'm trying to think.
Service of others.
Okay, I haven't moved. I have like 2,100 people in my constant contact.
Mm-hmm.
I have them segmented. I haven't moved them into the Kajabi yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like once I upload them in,
Mm-hmm.
would I have to create the segments ahead of time, or the tags ahead of time, or?
You definitely want to plan your move. So it depends on what, one, do you want to put it into Kajabi? Some people keep their email outside of Kajabi. If you're like, nope, I want it all in there. Okay, what are the segments that the ways that I have people segmented in constant contact? As you bring them over, you can apply tags. So I can say, you know, here's this group of people has these 5 qualities. When I import them, I can add those 5 tags to that group of people all at the same time. Then I say, okay, here's the next group I'm moving in, but they only have 3 of these qualities. So I import that group with those 3.
Okay. Plan
Out the move. And for myself, when I'm helping other people move in, because I had MailChimp first, and then I had ConvertKit, but it's been forever. So when Kajabi got email, I moved everybody in, I shut it all down. Since then, when I'm helping people migrate, I say, okay, let's look at who's active. Like, who do the people that we really, really, really care about? Those are the people that are active. So I always say, find your group that's opening the emails, your group that's clicking, your group that is taking action. Let's make sure we get them moved in first and taken care of however you need to be able to sort and group them inside Kajabi. The other groups, then we look at it and go, okay, let's send emails to those people through constant contact that says, hey, we're over here. Do you want to come? Some of them will come over. The rest of them we ditch because they weren't doing anything. They were a mess anyhow. But it's a unique, I mean, you look at every move for the uniqueness that it is. I leave a lot of unwanted furniture behind in lots of moves. Because you're like, hey, we're moving into a new house. Do you really want that old, tired, faded floral couch? from 1945 or whatever. They're like, no. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna leave them behind. Not moving over here. I know that would be vintage. I know. That's my son. That'd be a lot of money. It's vintage.
That would be a cow from World War II, which means it would be cool and antsy.
You're right.
To be awesome.
You're
And
right.
I'd keep it.
I picked the wrong generation, honey. Picked the wrong generation. I did. Does that make sense, Elisha?
It does.
So yeah, and I would say right now, you don't need to do all the things all at the same time. Oh, Vicky's puppy. Vicky's puppy. Please be quiet. You can see the puppy without going crazy.
Sorry, I just saw him there and I thought he hasn't seen one of my dogs for a long time.
He hasn't. He hasn't. Tad loves puppies.
We'll take the puppy away now. Bye.
Cute.
That's a cutie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cutie.
Yesterday I saw a dog is the bad guy.
Yeah, you saw a dog. The dog looked like he could cause trouble.
Whoa, this one doesn't.
He said he might be a bad guy.
No, very good guy.
But Alicia, I would say as you're launching the membership, do that stuff. Like just leave them in constant contact. Do the emails over there. You don't have to do all the pieces all at the same time because that just gets so overwhelming. Like beyond overwhelming, where you're like, you know what? That is just fine over there. Kind of like when you move into a new house. You don't unpack all the boxes at once. It's okay to find a box 10 years later. You're like, oh, we never opened that box.
Yeah.
To which my husband would rip it open and I'd be like, just take it straight to Goodwill. I don't know what's in there. Don't remind me what's in there. Just get it out of the house because we haven't needed it for 10 years. Between the two of us, we balance it out. But
Okay.
I wouldn't, you don't need to move them over right now.
Okay. Cool.
Any other questions? And I've got enough membership ones. I think we'll do that again.
That was good. Appreciate it.
You are welcome. Anything else you guys want to know about memberships? I'm going to write it on this list.
At the moment, no.
Okay. Where's the doggy? I don't know. Vicky's still there. Maybe Vicky will bring the doggy back.
Is there a way to keep track of from what source the people got into your membership? Is there like to tag them, like if they came in from course 1, course 2, would we need that information? Would it be helpful?
Well, you could easily filter them on who owns course 1 and who owns the membership. And then create a segment of people. There's the puppy. There he is. There he is.
So you filter it down below where you have the, if you have the middle package, the growth package. Is that what you mean?
No, I would just filter on the people tab. Like I would just create a segment of people that says who owns offer of course 1 and who owns the offer of the membership. And that way you could easily tell, obviously the people that own both of those things came from course 1. Other group of people. Do you have who owns course 2 and the membership? Okay, so in course 1 in membership, there's 100 people. Course 2 in membership, there's 300 people. More people came from course 2 into the membership than did course 1.
And remind me where you would start that.
Under people on the dashboard.
Okay.
Yeah, just make a people audience. What, sweetheart? Make sure the dog stays there. Okay, Vicky, make sure the dog stays there. He's got to go grab something to show the dog. Pretty darn sure. Yep, he's on the lookout. I know what he's doing. Oh, let's see. Colleen says, do you have analytics for particular blog posts? I'm sure there's a way to. I don't. everybody's scared. Ooh. I think Google Analytics, you can look based on maybe what pages like people land on in Google Analytics. I am not a blogger, but I know there are ways that people can tell exactly what their blog statistics are. I just don't know what that is. Anybody on here know the answer? No? Yeah. Yeah, I look at how many people opt in on the lead magnet end of life, lead magnet end of life.
Yeah, the dog's
So,
cute.
I don't necessarily,
The dog's
I
so
do
big.
know on YouTube, like what are the most popular videos. That YouTube just easily tells me.
Hi, doggy.
Let's see, do I recommend a webinar launch? It depends on what you define as a webinar launch, because that's like saying apple. There's like 170, how many varieties of apples? So webinar launch has multiple variations of it. So when you know, okay, I want to do this kind of a webinar, if you enjoy it, go for it. Anybody on here do webinar launches?
No, but I'm thinking about doing.
I'm thinking about it too.
Okay.
I remember you saying something about that. I'm like, that might be something really good to do.
I have done them in the past. They're, it's just like getting people into that opt-in, luring them into the opt-in thing, getting people to show up live. That's an interesting thing. I actually have a situation right now. So my beta cart closes, my early waitlist cart closes tonight at midnight. I'm actually starting the program next Tuesday with the coaching, calls are every Tuesday, but it's kind of a DIY course that's being built out. And I'm wondering, okay, now for my regular list, because I'm going to open it to the public now. What's a fast way? Because I don't want to pull together a webinar launch. What's a fast way that I could do like a mini webinar and just send it out to my list? And I'm almost thinking of just using the loom and just doing a very short little loom to my list and sending them a link. And just saying, hey, this is what's going on. This thing is opening, and just like make it personal.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than go through opt-in pages and all of that crap. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to set all that crap up. So I'm thinking
short, sweet, personalized.
Yeah.
It carries a lot of weight in gold.
Yeah. I kind of did that for my wait list. I just created a loom and I said, here's the deal, guys. It's going to cost $5.97. Start wrapping your head around all the stories you have around coming up with $5.97 because you're going to want to do this. Mm-hmm. So clear your crap before the cart opens so you can jump on it, because I'm only doing 20 people at that price point. Yeah, and it was like cool because people actually, I didn't know they could do that. They wrote down below. They asked me questions.
Yep.
Like Loom is groovy. Thank you.
For Loom, awesome. Loom is the best. I love Loom.
I like that.
Did you do webinars in Loom?
No, she was saying she would record a video in Loom and just send it to her list. But they can make comments underneath the video in Loom so you can answer their questions, just like if they were typing in chat on a webinar.
The other thing you can do is you can have a link, a button link that pops up with my sales page on it. I mean, it's so flippin' easy.
Yeah, Loom is incredible.
Wow, I love it. So I'm thinking I'm not going to do a webinar. I'm going to do a Loom. Hey guys, I just have a message to you. It's from my heart.
It really matters, like, who is your audience? And while a lot of us have purchased things from webinars, we have to keep in mind, we are online business owners trying to figure out how to run online businesses, buying webinars from people that sell webinars. But very often, we are then selling something entirely different. We're trying to sell a puppy training course to someone who pre-pandemic maybe never knew what Zoom was, maybe never knew you could do things online. We're trying to sell Chinese cooking classes. Well, those often they don't sell well on a webinar. And I put in the chat, Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. He has some really good chapters in there on if you're going to include webinar as your lead magnet. Okay, so remember our North Pole to New York City, you got to stick to that flight plan. In PBK, I call it 180K. You're going to commit to the flight plan for either 6 months or $180,000, whichever one you hit first. So some people, you can hit it in a month. They make 180,000. Perfect. Now, if you want to come up with something different to sell, by all means, create another runway. But otherwise, people tend to flip and flop because they're like, oh, I ran it twice and it didn't work.
Right.
Russell and there's a few things that I align very well with Russell on. There's many things that I don't align well with Russell on, the ClickFunnels guy. But I definitely do in the area of he runs that webinar live over and over and over again until it is perfect. He does not put it to evergreen until he has run it 12, 24, 36, 48 times live.
That's really good feedback. Okay.
He won't run it. And that's the part that I watch way too many people say, oh, I did it live once and now I moved it to evergreen and it's not converting. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it's because you don't know all the questions that you're not answering. But if you did them live, committed, I'm going to do this 24 times live. By the time you record it for evergreen, it's going to be really good. It will convert your sales. So webinars, whatever you choose as your lead magnet, you just have to commit to it. I chose the free product strategy out of pure necessity. Kajabi launched in November of 15. Tad was born in December. I had a 4-year-old, a newborn, and an amazing new, tech tool that I loved. I couldn't keep making lead magnets and opt-ins and sequences. I couldn't do it. I was like, what if I just put all this in a product? If I put it in a product, then when people are ready to buy, they can just click on it. Like it's right here. Everything comes in here. That I've stuck with that lead magnet location since early of 2016.
And what is your lead magnet again?
It's the free resource library. I'll put it in here. You probably are already in it and you don't even. It's in your library, but that's the front page that everyone has to go to get into it. But whatever you pick, if you're going to pick webinars, love doing webinars. Like the reason Amy Porterfield is so good at it is because she loves webinars. She loves them. She loves to analyze them and do them. And how do I make it better? And she loves that. If webinars don't light you up, doesn't matter how many times you go through her course or anyone else's course. If you don't love to do webinars, it's not going to work for you.
Right.
Something else will work for you. And that's the whole point of the lead magnet is blending what works for you and your lifestyle and where are your people. And then you've got to find a way to blend those two pieces together. Like a really good smoothie or frozen fruity drink. I don't say the word
week. Was that when you mentioned, I saw something and we talked about doing a video. Is that the same thing as a webinar, like doing the virtual pop-ups to get them to come in? And you said you were doing it, Monday, Tuesday, every day of the week?
Yeah, so that's what this is.
Coming in.
Yep, that's what this is. So when I do the pop-up groups, I do daily live training. In the spring, I did it 7 days a week because pandemic and Chris was home. Now, Chris is not home. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't like webinars, but I love this. I am good at this. I enjoy this. So that's why I do this, but I don't do it all year long.
Yeah. Is this like a freebie, this pop-up thing? Is this a way to get people to your list?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. easy roll right there. So
Yeah.
you still have to create it as an offer for them to sign up for it.
Yep. So I have a I have a free offer. So if you go to that tamsinhorton.com/PBK community,
Yep.
which lives under every one of my YouTube videos, like you only go to one front door. There's some older videos before I got married to this whole philosophy. So there are some broken links out there, but the most recent couple years, it's one front door. They come in through the offer checkout page. Now they're inside the free product. When they're in the product, if I do a workshop, if I do a pop-up, if I have, Loom videos that I've made for members that are just really good explanations, I put the content in. So back in 18, when GDPR was coming out, I had a GDPR workshop. Instead of running that as a, constant webinar, I just took the recording, put in the free product, and in the sidebar, purchase your GDPR privacy policy pack. That's how I sold it. When I was no longer selling it because I moved to PBK, I just pulled it out of the sidebar, I actually turned off most of those workshops, so they're in draft now. But it allows you to turn things on and off without rebuilding. Like, I did it out of necessity or laziness, whichever way you'd like to call it. That's what I did. So yes, when people say, oh, do I run a webinar? There's so many ways. I say, what if we ask the question, what lights you up? Like, what do you get excited to do? Because you've got to talk about your business. No one else is going to do it. And even if you hire somebody, they're not going to do it as well as you at the beginning. What can you talk to total strangers about that lets you show off? Like, you're excited about it because you enjoy it, but you're also showing them what it is you do. If a webinar does that, go for it. If you go, nope, but a Loom video where I could send it to my people, yeah, I love that idea. Then do that. I haven't
seen that unless they're working with virtual assistants, because that's how I got turned on to Loom.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual assistant. How long can you make a recording in Loom? Is there a time limit?
If there is, I haven't run up against it, but I tend to use Loom for videos that are probably less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't use Loom for my really long videos.
Right.
But I haven't tried it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the cool part, is when you're picking your lead magnet. And honestly, the lead magnet at times can just simply be, would you like to be in my world? Jenna Moyer, who's in PBK, they have a physical farm and they have a tenter site, which is like Airbnb for tents.
Mm-hmm.
And she really struggled and she's like, I don't know what to give them. Like, Jenna, it's a farm. They just want to know what's going on.
Oh, she's the one who interviewed. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do on the farm? Oh, I said,
yeah.
You don't have to give them a PDF. You don't have to give them a 4-part video series. Like, what we signed up for to purchase the things that allowed us to learn how to run our businesses and do our things, we have to put that in a separate category. Now, who are the people that you're serving? They might not they might not want to do that at all. Like, they just might want to be on your list, and you send them an email or you send them a Loom or you say, hey, I did an Instagram story today. Here's the link to it. Like, do what's easy so that you can maintain it.
Okay, so what's landing for me? How fast is it to set up? Show me how to set up an offer where I would create, it's a free offer, Power Me Up pop-up is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just get a tag on them so that I can do a Loom daily and just boom, 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 send them a Loom every morning for the next week. Because then they could still join. I can kind of gradually drop seed and sell. But I always get nervous about setting up an offer and having it sequence right to get a tag and then be able to do an email.
The thing is, you don't have to tag it because filters exist. So in Kajabi, you either you're invisibly tagged by the filters based on action or inaction. So if I say, which we'll create your offer right now, what do you want to call it?
Power Me Up pop-up.
Power Me Up. Okay. And is it free or are you charging?
It's free.
Free?
Yeah.
Perfect. What I would do, the only thing I would do is on your checkout page, those purchase terms that you did for your other agreement, copy it, modify the payment area and the description so that you have your terms for this free pop-up group, which you already did in Bizzlebox, so just clone it, change names, done, put that in underneath service agreement, just like you know how to do. I like this. There we go. Click save. Customize this text as you need. You're done. Like done. Offer kaput.
Got it.
10 minutes, maybe a little less.
So, but then how do I find them?
I will show you.
Filled out a form, yes, right?
Nope, right here. So they all have that offer. So they came through that offer. Now I can go to marketing and I can click email campaign. And I can say new email campaign, email broadcast. If it's something I'm going to send every day, I would probably make a template and clone it. So, no, here, we'll do this one. Make it pretty.
I haven't gone to that page yet.
Yeah, I don't even, I haven't looked at those to see like what would be a good template for me just to send a link to because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a link to a Loom video.
Oh, here, then let me show you. Let me go back. Hold on.
It can look groovy. That'd be groovy.
Let me go back. This is the easiest one to do. I do this one all the time. What?
But you wouldn't do, and then you would do, if you're doing the Loom, that's just a message.
Well, it's a video. Share, so I could put slides.
You do this one, Bambi. You do showcase the product.
Yeah.
This one works awesome. You put your Loom. I'll show you. You'll open up. So here you can do all your people. Like if you already made your audience, then you could select it. But you're like, oh, I didn't remember to do that. No problem. Come down here to custom segment, select filter. We want all the ones that own the offer that we just made. Right there, apply.
Okay.
See, now we have save this segment. So we're gonna save this. Bambi daily pop-up group. Click save.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as all these things, here we go. Thanks for hanging with me, everybody. We covered a lot today. daily pop-up, add your text here. We're going to launch the email editor, and I'm using the visual editor. You can use the classic editor, which is more like just a sheet of notebook paper.
Yeah.
But this one, if you want, the logo up here, great. If not, you can either hide it, which means they can't see it, but it's still there, or I can delete it. I can totally get it out of there.
Okay.
Now, on the video, right here, see where it says video URL? Put your Loom link right there.
Oh, wow. Okay. And would the Loom, that link, that goes on the Loom screen that they can click in, would that still work there?
Yeah, so you put the Loom link here, which let me grab one.
You know what I mean? The little pop-up box that comes on your Loom screen for them.
Oh yeah, everything, because they're gonna go, it's gonna take them to Loom. Like it's going here. In fact,
Oh, I see. When they hit it, they go to Loom.
Here, let me share screen for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about.
Okay.
So here, I just popped into my Loom. I happen to, I use this all the time for stuff, quick answers. So I can just come in, let's say that's our daily pop-up. We're gonna copy this. If you have your custom thumbnail done or your call to action, all of that will come across exactly the way that you set it up. Come back over to Kajabi. Can you guys see Kajabi?
Yep.
Put my link in there, click save. Then what I would likely do is I would just make one screenshot and I'd use the same thing every day.
Yeah.
But let's see if I have one in here that looks somewhat like a video. No, not really. No, we'll use this one. No, we'll use this one. There we go. But I could take a picture like of the Loom screen so that it looked like a Loom, more like the Loom.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about. My brain today. There we go. Now I would click save. Go back here. Whatever you want to name it. This, in fact, this is the one, if you guys are opening your emails, this is the one that is going out about the daily trainings. It's this, like, you'll be like, oh, that looks familiar. Yep.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's classy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just hide these.
Yeah.
So you can, sorry.
Oh, okay. I just solved my dilemma of the webinar. How do I get people on a flipping webinar in the next 12 hours?
Yeah.
I'm going to send them this.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All you got to do. All you have to do.
I'm psyched.
Yeah. Now, are you going to give them something to, like, are you giving them a sales page or a link to the offer checkout page?
The link is to the sales page.
Okay, so let's do this. Just a second. What you want to do, or do this, because you'll give yourself the foundation for being able to talk to the people who went to the sales page. So here, click sales page now. So they can watch the video up here. They can click the sales page here. You could add another button if you wanted to. But what you want to do.
And what was the link that went behind the sales page? Okay.
Yeah, the sales page. So here, down here at the bottom, okay, we're going to click add automation. Do not choose when the email broadcast is opened, because there are people who will open the email 42 times. If that's your trigger, whatever your action is will happen 42 times. I learned this the hard way.
Okay.
Instead, do when the link is clicked, and we're going to pick we'll say that it was this one, was our sales page. Then here, I would, in your instance, okay, I would add a tag. Let's see if I got one in here. No, I don't.
So I have to
put that
first.
in sales intro offer. And I would click save. What that's going to do for you, because you don't have all the sequences built out, you don't need to. But when I send this out, the people that click the sales page, I can follow up with them if I can find them.
Right.
So if they buy, it's easy to find them because they have an offer. But it's that group in the middle that is your warm audience.
Right.
They clicked, but they didn't buy. Okay, now they have a tag on them because they clicked the email to the sales page. Now, underneath the people tab, you can sort based on who has that tag. Then, what I highly, highly recommend, because anything under than 500 is honestly completely doable, and realistically, even under 1,000 is doable. Take that phone and that magical Loom device that you use to send them a video and send them a message. If you know them, talk about something that like, hey, I know you saw it. This is going to be great. Whatever it is, tie it in, because sending a personal message, it's powerful. It's powerful being on the receiving end of it. It's easy being on the initiating end of it. And if they clicked and they liked the Loom video, now you can start the discussion where it's very easy to have, conversion rates that are well over 50% that have nothing to do with an email sequence at all.
Right.
In the initial launches of groups. Does that make sense?
And you were saying pick up your phone and do that. Are you talking send a text with a Loom, or because we don't have the
you have all of their emails. I can use my phone. I can record a video for a person.
Yeah.
Click the Loom link, go to my Gmail, and send a message. I'm not doing marketing emails. I'm starting a conversation with someone I know saw the sales page. If I'm dealing in small quantities that I need to convert quickly, the easiest way to maximize those conversions, do whatever you can to personalize the relationship.
And from Loom, I can send it to that email. Is that the deal? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're doing a personalized one for each person.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I got that. Okay. I'm going to go do this right now.
Yeah. It's so, I would do it, things that you would normally do in your personal life, those are probably the things you enjoy doing. Anytime you can translate that over into your business world, it will be authentic. It will be totally in alignment with who you are. And most importantly, you'll be able to maintain it.
Yeah.
Because it's something you would naturally do. I'm the person that if I show up at a conference, I have groceries ordered in and we do happy hour in my room and I play hostess. It's what I've loved to do since I was a kid and I had my dolls. So, but other people, it's still hard for me at times. We're like, okay, I'm sending a total stranger a message. They're going to think I'm like the craziest, kookiest thing ever. That's okay. I have their best interest at heart.
They'll remember you because it's how you make them feel.
Yep.
It's not how, what you said to them. It's how you make them feel. Specialized messages is that.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Loom way better than a webinar. Sign up, show up. They don't have to show up off their schedule. They can fit it in. Yeah, that's.
I haven't been to a webinar since Tad has been born.
Yeah.
I can't show up for your webinar.
Yeah, exactly.
And the pre-recorded webinar that I have to attend by choosing a time.
Yeah.
Guys, it's on demand. Like, let me just press play. Like I
agree.
So I'm not their
your whole
target.
video on Loom, Bambi?
Excuse me?
You're going to do your whole video on Loom, or are you just doing the intro to get them to come to?
No, my course that launches on Tuesday, that's all Kajabi stuff, right?
Right.
Are you asking me, am I making those videos on Loom?
Yeah, you're putting what on Loom? Are you
So Loom is, I've been saying to my tribe, my email newsletter list, that the wait list shopping cart closes tonight at midnight, then it's open to you guys. So they're anticipating that tomorrow I'm going to show up with something for them to look at. And I'm going to show up with the sales page, but I'm going to say, but just to let you experience what this is going to be like, I'm going to do, Friday to Tuesday pop-up where every day I'm going to show up and I'm going to share with you the kinds of things I'm going to be teaching in this course. So you can actually experience it to make a decision. Is this what I want to get in on?
Mhm.
They'll be very short.
on Loom?
Yep. It'll be like a 5-minute power tip. Do this and you're going to raise your vibration. You're going to slash your anxiety. You're going to whatever it is. And they'll get a sense of, oh God, what she does works. Maybe I do want to hang out with her for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's different. And I like that. I never like things like everybody else. So thank you. This is huge. All right. So I'm going to go do it while it's still fresh in my head.
There you go. And as you're doing it, if you have questions, just pop them in the pop-up group.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll
All
gladly answer them.
right.
All right. Anybody have anything else that can wrap up for you? Otherwise, I'm going to go take a couple kiddos to the park again. So we have lots of energy today. Whew. Okay, I'm going to just quit.